I'm doing another live stream, so hi to everyone that's watching this back. Today I'm going to be going through how I add the veins onto my dolls. Sometimes I do this earlier, sometimes I do it later in the process. This time I've left it till the very end. It is a part of the process I don't enjoy particularly, so that's why I've left it to this point. I use air dry paints, and I am using Waterborn by Mott and Giddo. And this is the veins / blue undertone colour that they've got. So I'm going to add that into my paint palette, which is messy and I need to clean, but luckily I only need one clean space for this. So I'm going to be painting the veins on the all of the limbs. I'm not going to be doing anything to the head because the head is completely finished here, as you can see. So this doesn't need anything else done to it. So as I said, we'll be using this colour. You can make this colour up as well if you want to, and I like to add some distilled water to make it a bit thinner as well. So I've got my distilled water here. I'm getting a pipette and popping some of that water in with the paint to make it a little more diluted. And I get one of my thin brushes. I might try and find a even thinner one than this actually. A lot of my brushes are not clean, which is a bit of a pain. My thinnest brushes I need to clean, so I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to grab some isopropyl alcohol to clean this brush off quickly. So I last used this for painting something black. Your work is beautiful, thank you. So the thin brushes I use, these are actually from Morphe. This was the Morphe Abby Roberts collaboration. I don't actually know who Abby Roberts is, but these were selling for like £4 for a set of 5 brushes, and they're actually perfect for painting with. So I actually find Morphe brushes are really good for painting Reborns. So that's just bit of information for you. So yeah, sometimes I do this at the start. I will sometimes do this with powder paints before I put any paints on top, and that can help it look like it's showing through the skin rather than being veins on top of the skin. But I will try and make sure you can see what I'm doing. So if you look at your own hands, you'll see you have veins going up in certain areas. So I often use my own hands as a reference point for where the veins should be on the baby hand, and they're like super subtle, if you can see that, but you don't want it to be like really obvious, because then it'll look like they've been painted on. So it's good to also have a little sponge with you. I have a little container with clean sponges in on my IKEA wall, and you can use them to kind of dab off, and I'm just going to go over slightly what I've done there again and tap it out with my fingers. So hopefully I've got my ring light on, so which does kind of wash things out, but I have done a couple of veins now on the back of that hand, and I will also do some going down to the wrist. So again, if you look at your own veins on your wrist, then I try and follow the same kind of pattern on here. I do like her nails. Yeah, I think I've done the nails quite nicely. I was quite pleased with those, how they came out. So again, I do tend to like dab off, and you do have some veins on your palm as well. So again, trying to add those in. They might not show up on camera very well because they are super subtle. As I said, you have veins under your skin rather than on top of your skin, so you do want to try and emulate that as much as possible. But I've decided I'm just going to start, whenever I'm painting, I'm going to see if I can hop on live stream and do a quick tutorial for you guys as to how I paint. And you might also notice that you have veins on this part of your arm as well. And so sometimes I like to add just a tiny bit of a vein or two towards that part of the arm, and I'll often add a little bit of kind of blue in this area as well. I will say this is vinyl, not silicone, and I'll do a bit here as well. This is vinyl babies I make, so silicone is a whole different process, which I haven't explored yet. But yeah, just kind of adding some little tiny veins in, coming down slightly onto the wrist. And on here. And around on the palm of your hand. If you look, you'll often have veins coming in here. You have a massive phobia of veins. I am very sorry. Tips on how to get started. A lot of places have starter sets. So I get all my paints now from Mott and Giddo because I use waterborne paints, and they have a whole starter kit you can get, which has the kit, everything you need essentially. Are vinyls easier to paint than silicone? Yes, definitely. So I haven't tried silicone, but you can charge a lot more if you paint silicone because it is a lot harder apparently. Can I say hi, Sophia? Hi, Sophia. So I've got a closed hand, so this will be exactly the same process. And you think, right, if I make a fist, where do my veins go? I have very pale skin, so it's actually really quite easy to see most of my veins through my skin. And veins are quite like wibbly wobbly as well. So when I'm adding them in, having naturally shaky hands actually is a benefit in this instance. What paint do I recommend? So I use air dry paint, which you can get air dry or heat set. Heat set is a whole other complicated process, and you have to deal with like fumes and things like that. So I recommend air dry paints, and I personally use waterborne. I've also tried Special Care Nursery, but I got on a lot better with waterborne. I just find them easier to work with. I've also heard really good things about Ultimate Fusion air dry paints. What's the going price of one of my dolls? So mine sell anywhere from about £150 for my like budget babies. The most I've had a doll sell for was around £750. And I don't make custom orders, so things like portrait babies I won't do. If you're wanting to get a reborn for a long time, where can you get one in the US? So on my website I've got loads of information about buying reborns. That's www.rebornsofjess.com. I don't earn anything through my website. It's just full of loads of really useful information for people. So you can see, I don't know if you can see on camera, I've done like a little vein just down there. I recommend checking out like Facebook groups where you can buy secondhand reborns or directly from artists, or like I sell my dolls through reborns.com now, which is a great place. You can like shop by budget and things like that. So again, I don't know if the camera will pick this up. She's super shiny because I haven't used the matte varnish yet, but I've just popped a couple of veins on the back of the hand, and I have done some here, which I will just deepen up as well on the wrist, and then some, you want some on the palm as well, because as I said, you do have veins on your palm, especially for the paler skin babies. You subscribed to me about 4 hours ago. Oh, thank you so much. Until this week, I only had like 4,000 YouTube subscribers, and then suddenly I've got like 10k more, which was a bit wild. Do you think this is a hobby you can make a profit when it comes to making and selling the dolls? Yes, definitely, but it'll take a while to make a profit, and there's quite a lot of like initial outlay that you have to put in. So I had to practice a lot before selling, and to be honest, I think I was really fortunate with my platform that my dolls sell very quickly, and even the ones that weren't so great at the start sold quite quickly, and I think partially that was down to the fact that I do have so many followers that were happy to support me. So it can pay for itself, but like I wouldn't go into it trying to make money. Like I went into it not trying to make money. I was just thought I'd give it a go. So now I'm going to move on to the feet. You can't really tell because of this lighting, but like there is a kind of small bluish part in the middle of the foot, and the foot in general is more red than the rest of the limb. I will be adding some veins to this area here, a bit on this thigh area, and then the top and around the sides of the feet as well. So how did I get into creating Reborns? I got into creating them because I collected them, and I thought, let's see if I can make them. And I really enjoyed making them, and I wasn't very good at the start, and then I practiced a lot and improved, but it's definitely taken quite a lot of practice to get here. Could someone request a specific kit and I have full control otherwise? So that's what I would refer to as like a private order, and some artists do that. I don't, because that's still too much pressure for me. Sometimes my dolls don't turn out as I like them at all, and I'm really not happy with the results. So that's just a lot of pressure. If I was doing this full time as like a job, then I probably would, but because this is just my hobby and I'm just literally doing this for fun, I won't. I'll just choose whatever kits I fancy painting. And I always think the ones that turn out the best for me are kits that I'm inspired by. So I've been quite happy with the ones that I've made recently. So I'm also going to add some veins like going around the ankle area. Have you ever thought of Reborn photography? So I do take pictures of the dolls that I make, and that's really fun. I don't know if you can see this vein I've just done. I need to get a better camera. My fiance and I are working on upgrading our cameras at the moment, but it's always, I quite enjoy photographing the dolls that I've made. So that's like a really subtle vein. Again, I don't know if I like try and adjust the lighting, whether you can see it any better, but it's there, I promise. In person you can see it, and it hopefully will come out in the photograph. So I do that on both sides, just kind of going down and like around the ankle area. Might be able to see that. And again, just going in with my sponge to make sure it's not too obvious, because it still needs to look like it's underneath the skin. So what are reborn dolls for? There's loads of different reasons why someone might want a reborn. Let me just adjust this. Loads of different reasons why someone might want a Reborn. A lot of people just collect them for fun. Like I just collect them because I like dolls and I like babies and I think they're really cute and really beautiful. So I've got a whole display cabinet, which is behind me there, full of Reborns just because I think they're really pretty. But the first time I got one, it was actually because I was just really lonely. So I just wanted a companion, and couldn't have a pet for various reasons. Some people have them for like child loss, dementia, as they get portrait babies made of their real kids, that kind of thing. So thank you. I have 14 dolls in my collection at the moment, 13 or 14. I'm not buying as many since I'm now like making them because that's more fun for me now is to make them. So again, I've added some really subtle ones to the top of the foot, and I'm just gonna add like a few essentially like squiggly lines in the center of the foot and go in with the sponge. So this is like super subtle. You won't be able to see this unless you're like up close to the doll. But I want mine to look as realistic as possible, no matter like where you are in relation to the baby. So I'm quite happy with the veins on this one. And now this is the last limb I have. So I think this is going to be probably a fairly short live, just in terms of showing people how the veins are done. So I'm going down in like a line and then like kind of around this ankle area and then going in with my sponge, which just softens the entire thing and makes it really subtle. So I do the same for this part. Go on kind of like squiggly because veins are squiggly around there and around here, and then the sponge, and then on, I'm going to try to show you. If you layer the veins under a subtle layer of paint, will you see it? Yes, you will. So sometimes, so I often use powders at the very start of my painting process, and will use like a blue powder to create the veins, and that's a really nice way to make like soft veins that come through. But I also kind of find that quite tedious, so I didn't do it for this one. And how long does it take start to finish? So start to finish, a couple of weeks, but that's kind of because you have to wait for like the paint to cure before you can do certain steps. So and like things like the glue drying in the head once you've rooted. Rooting also takes a very long time, so that does make things a bit slower. I have something on my head. Is it my hair? I'm trying to paint in a way that like you can kind of see what I'm doing. Sometimes I go over the lines again that I've made just to make sure that you can see them. But again, you only want to see them when you're up close. Yeah, so collecting reborns is like collecting any other thing, really. Is this a female version of Warhammer? Probably. I find it really satisfying to paint these. Like, it's very therapeutic. There's lots of small details. I love doing the small details on the face. That's like my favorite part when I get to the stage of detailing the face. It really brings them to life, and it's just really, really fun, really. Yeah, so I'm trying to make them as realistic as possible through this process. So at the moment it's looking very shiny because I haven't used matte varnish, and just the front camera on here also washes things out a bit and makes it look a bit weird. Where are you from to get that accent? I am from Essex in the United Kingdom. You want to see the other baby? Yeah, after I've done this one, I will show you my progress on the other baby that I was rooting. I'm still rooting it. Like, rooting takes hours and hours and hours, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I have a day job, so I don't get to spend all of my time doing this. But I'm just adding some veins into these other little places that you have veins, so kind of those like back of the leg areas. I'm glad you found it engaging. Do I have a collection of baby body parts that didn't work out? Yes, I do. I literally have what, look, up here. This is a leg that I painted and then I stripped the paint off because I wasn't happy with it. But I didn't do a very good job of stripping the paint, so it just looks really bad. And I've got 4 limbs that look like that, and I just haven't decided what I'm doing with them yet. So yeah. I have quite a few. We have an attic, and there's a lot of baby limbs up there. Posh baby parts go for good money. Yeah, I mean, I might just like offer them up for free for whoever wants them as like a project, because I've bought, you know, things for that reason before, just as a bit of a project. Now I'm just going crazy with the veins, put them everywhere. And some babies will have like more obvious veins, so I might do one like down the outside of this thigh. I've decided. Again, I'm making this super subtle, like unless you were inspecting this part of the doll, you actually wouldn't notice this, but it's just another thing that adds to that realism factor when you get like super close up or even from far away, just to kind of have those things that I doesn't really notice them, but I think your brain takes them in. So we've got a limb here. Just add those bits onto the other limb, and then I'll show you the other doll that I was working on, and I'll show you the head of this one as well, so you can see, because the head is done. It's just the limbs need to catch up, and then I'll be photographing this baby this weekend and posting him for sale on reborns.com. So yeah, just adding really subtle vein in there. But I will be selling this baby. I'm not quite sure how much yet for. So the head of this baby is here, looking very cute. You can see I've just finished the rooting. The rooting has gone quite well. I'm quite proud of that. So that's what he's looking like. Very cute. This is the Leo sculpt by Cassie Love. So that's this one, and then hang on, I'll grab the other one. So this is the one that's gone like viral at the moment. So it's so pretty. I'm genuinely so proud of how the face on this one's come out. So you can see I have started rooting the hair. Now this one obviously has darker hair than this one, and also I've rooted it more thickly. So this baby, I've rooted like one hair at a time to make it have like a sparser effect. And this one, I've done like a couple of hairs at a time, which is why it's like a much thicker head of hair. But when I was a baby, I was born with a full head of black hair. So I do really enjoy having like babies with more hair. I just think that's a nice thing. And I might cut it so it's a bit shorter than this. But yeah, so they always get to a stage, because I do the back and then I do the sides and then I'll do the front. And my granddad, my fiance always says they end up looking like my granddad at one point, because my granddad's got this like bald spot on the whole top of his head and has hair on the sides, so that's how they'll look. When did I start collecting? I started collecting 4 years ago. Bring this one in as well. And yeah, I just really enjoyed having the babies. But I'm really, like, both of these I think have turned out looking really pretty. This one especially definitely looks better now it's mattified, and in person the skin texture looks really gorgeous. Actually on both of these the skin texture's worked out. So this one I've done like blonde baby hairs on, and this one I've done like brown baby hairs on, and especially around, I don't know if you can see this, around the ears it's got this gorgeous peach fuzz. Would you ever do a video on the full process? Yes. I'm kind of planning on doing like a series of lives, so like each time I do part of a baby creation, I'll do a live on it, and then people can watch it back to see exactly how I'm doing each part of the process. And I will be doing a whole video, because with this one particularly I have actually filmed like most parts of the process. So what I'll be doing is a video explaining my entire process for creating this doll that compiles all of those like small clips together. So hopefully that will be helpful. What am I doing on Christmas? Celebrate. Oh, this year actually I'm going to be on my honeymoon for Christmas, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, I will be doing some more rooting of this guy on live stream probably this weekend, just because that's a bit of fun. It looks like an old man. Yeah, I'm not finished. Obviously he's only just started. It will have more hair, like this one has more hair. Why do I have a head? So this is a Reborn that I have painted and I'm doing the hair of, and this is one that yeah, I'm doing that. You're gay. I'm not gay. Wouldn't matter if I was. I'm getting married in June to a lovely Asian man who is the love of my life, and we've been together for 5 years. But yeah, I'm going to end the live now because I have shown you how I've done all of my veins on the limbs, and that was what the live was for. So I hope you guys have a really lovely day, and I will see you on the next one, hopefully.